Hi guys, good morning. I say that as soon as a big truck goes by. So good morning and welcome from England. I've been here for about a week and a half and it's been very busy. So apologies I have not been able to film something sooner. I'm still figuring out a good place to film in my new house. But for now I'm using this space here. So this morning I'm going to go through a vinyasa with you. It's probably going to be about a level 2, so open, accessible to all levels, and those of you who've been working with me for a while, you can always add in advancements or reel it back in if that's what you're feeling today. So let's begin by meeting on the mat. Go ahead, grab your props. If you need, you can grab 2 blocks and a strap, whatever you have at home if that's where you're practicing with me. I always like to keep my props on hand. You never know if you're going to need them. So I've got my prop basket just here and I've pulled a strap out just to have nearby. And when you're ready, coming to meet me, find a comfortable seated position. Whether that's sitting in hero's pose, kneeling, like I am, or if you'd prefer to be cross-legged. So closing the eyes down, take a moment, ground your hands on your thighs, just rooting down your energy, drawing awareness to the feeling of your skin under your hands or your leggings. And then let the hands come to a place of stillness. Roll the shoulders up, back and down, lengthen your back. And take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Nice big sigh. Inhale, breathing in all the way to the top. Really audible exhale if you can. One more time, breathing in. Sealing your lips, breathing in and out through your nose. Take a moment to clear your third eye. Drop into your heart. Noticing what's present for you today. And taking a moment here, set your intention for practice. Remembering that we return to our mat time and time again, not just for the benefits of physical movement and working our bodies and stretching our bodies, but also to help create diligence in our mind, in returning back to this space every time and practicing with intention. We can bring in changes, meaningful changes into our life, and it could start with the small details of taking mindfulness that you have practiced and cultivated in class off the mat and into your day-to-day life. Maybe it's pausing as you make a cup of tea, or noticing the sky or the birds, or how your body is walking as you stroll down the road, or maybe as you hurry to catch a bus. Just bringing more presence into your life, being more diligent with practicing with mindfulness and presence. Slowly start to make your way onto your back, on your mat. And we'll begin practice lying down, bringing the knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug, give yourself a squeeze. Deep breath in, let it go. Let's just start by rolling out the feet. Nice big circles in your ankles. Let's reverse the direction. Slow it down. Go even slower. And I want you to feel each muscle working as you try to rotate your foot. And release. Let's take a wiggle side to side, releasing your low back. And then let's come into a happy baby. So hands to the outsides of your feet or to your big toes, and just start to pull down on those feet so that we're driving the knees towards the mat, towards your armpits. And try to keep the feet stacked above the knees. Let's just see how that feels to try and keep that form, that directional pressure, moving straight from heel to knee to floor. And then pulling down on your feet, rock side to side. And as you're doing this, I want you to be aware of your belly. Instead of just letting it relax, let's draw that belly button in and up. So we're trying to press our belly button into the floor behind us. And then from here, let's play with bending and trying to straighten. Remember, it's early in the morning. Maybe you're not as open as I am. Bending and straightening your legs a few times. Maybe just go one at a time. Just see what your range of motion is this morning, where you're feeling stiff. And release, coming back to center. From here, place your feet on the mat. We're going into a bridge pose. I want to automatically turn on our glutes and low back. So press your heels into the mat and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Now from here, I want you to put more of the weight on your heels, less on your toes. Really dig those heels into the mat. And at the same time, let's zip up an imaginary pair of jeans that are too tight for us. So drawing that belly in and up. Squeeze the heels together. And let's think about our ribs knitting together. We've got a corset on, so you can use your hands, find your rib cage, and just notice if you're flaring or if those ribs are down nice and flat in line with the belly. Press your hands into the mat, lifting those hips up just a little bit higher. Holding here, shift the weight to your right foot. Lighten up your left heel. And lower down. Let's try the other side. Shift the weight to your left foot. Keep the hips the same height. Just lift your right heel just to test your stability and lower. We're going to lower all the way back down to the mat and release. Bring your knees into your chest, cross your shins, start to rock forwards and back until you can rock all the way up to seated. Let's pause in seated, adjust as you need. Know that you can sit on a block. And taking our hands out in front of us, starting with our wrist warm up, flicking the water off of your hands. And doing this quickly, and at the same time you're keeping your arms straight, shoulders back and down. Let's now grab the air. Pulling that air in as quick as you can. Really imagine you're trying to grab something here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make a fist. Now check out those elbows here. Get the pointy bit of your elbow, stick it out to the side, internal rotation, and then let's take the fist facing up to the sky, eye of the elbow now facing the sky, external rotation. So let's do that a few times here. See how that feels. And I want you to try and be aware when you're in your down dog and your inversions, whether you're internally rotating or externally rotating. So ideally, in our downward facing dog, we will have external rotation in the upper arm bone, but at the same time, we're not going to have our fists pointing up. So flatten your hands as if you're in a down dog, so press into the floor in front of you, but try to keep the eye of the elbow pointing up. It's like we're working in opposition in our arm. We're externally rotating here, but we're pronating down with that lower arm bone. And release. Taking your hands to your thighs. Let's do some seated cat-cow today. Inhale, lifting your head, neck, and chest up. Notice you have your knees here. You can pull on them to help you. Exhale, bringing the belly in. Curl your head in, round. Inhale, leading with the head. Pull on the knees to help with your back bend. And exhale to round. Find your flow as you do this, breathing in and out. I really want you to think of hollowing out your belly as we round the back. So drawing that belly button in and up. Let's go for one more here. And I want you to finish in your cat pose, staying here, angry cat, seated version. Really pull on those knees, chin to chest. We're going to start to draw circles. So let's think of our heart here. Heart is puffed back. Let's draw the heart over to the right, and it's as far to the right as we can go. Then start to bring the heart forwards and then to the left. Now let's try to bring flow, combining all the directions together. And don't think too hard about this, feel into it. So maybe keeping your hands on your knees, bring back the visualization and witness the circle your heart is drawing as if you were standing above and looking down. So you can see the heart going around in a big circle. That's reverse directions. So the spine can move in all different directions. So really important that we take that in our warm-up, but also in a regular practice, not just forwards and back. And let's come to center. All right, time to get on the hands and knees. Roll over, meet me in tabletop position. So adjusting yourself on your mat. Let's just pause. This is the first time we're bearing weight this morning. So just taking a moment, rock forwards and back on your hands. And have awareness here. Let's look down. Have you got that external rotation in the upper arm bone? And pressing evenly into the hand. Maybe start to linger your weight forwards. See how that feels. Shifting left, shifting right. And I want you to think of this. When we're doing our chaturanga today, and in most of your practice, let's think about shoulders coming forward, staying forwards as you lower down into your chaturanga. We're not quite there yet, but I'd like to bring that message in now. And then when you're ready, tuck your toes under. Let's meet in our first downward facing dog, pressing the hips up nice and high, wiggle the head out, release any tension. And then start to walk into your down dog, easing into the body, seeing what's present for you today. So a lot of warm-up to me is self-exploration, gently guided by whatever cues the teacher or I might be giving you. If there's something that you particularly need as you warm up your body for practice and the teacher doesn't offer it, feel free to take it. One variation that I like here of down dog is taking the feet out wide to the edge of the mat and shortening your distance of your dog, and then keep the legs straight as you start to wiggle your hips side to side like you're waggling your bum in the air. Keep pressing those hands into the mat. Just helps get into your inner groin, inner thigh. And let's re-meet in that downward facing dog. Those of you who have the heels on the mat, let's challenge ourselves. Rather than defaulting to the same down dog, let's start to take the feet back, maybe half an inch, maybe 1 inch, and see if you can get the heels to connect with the mat still. It's going to be a greater challenge, a bigger stretch in the calf and the backs of your legs. Deep breath in. Exhale, sending those heels back. Lift the hips up a little higher as you push 2 straight arms into the floor. Let's take one more breath here, breathing in. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, look forwards. Walk to the top of your mat. See if you can keep the hands grounded and connected with the mat. Walking all the way forwards. So if you're not quite here yet with your forward fold and your hands are not on the floor, do not worry about it. It does not matter. It will come with time, or it might not, depending on your body shape. You can always use your 2 blocks here. So let's take some halfway lifts. So I want you to lead with the tailbone. So think about drawing the belly in and then leading 1 vertebra at a time from your tailbone all the way up, kind of like a zombie. And then relax and release down. So imagine nice and heavy in your head and your arms. Start with the core, draw the belly in, squeeze the heels together. Unravel yourself so you come halfway up. Let's check in here. Ribs knit together, zip up the jeans, and imagine growing long from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Exhale, fold. Find a flow here and do this a few times. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding forwards. Let's start to bring in the arms. So maybe you're working with blocks. Those of you who have free hands, inhale, slide the hands up the thighs. Exhale, slide the hands down, wrap them behind the calves as you fold forward, tipping the weight to your toes. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding forwards. Let's do 3 more. And taking 1 more. And when you're done, we'll meet in a forward fold. Let's take our hands and try to reach them behind your thighs or your calves, or take them lower down towards your heels. Really pulling on a part of your back body so that you can try to get your face closer to your shins. And just take a moment to sway between heels and toes. And then I want you to keep the weight forward on your toes. Pull yourself forward. Let the elbows go out to the side. And let's shift the weight left and right. From here, come to center, release the hands, bend your knees deeply, and start to unravel yourself to come up and stand. Inhale, reaching the arms above your head. Exhale, hands to heart center, closing your eyes, bring your feet closer together, big toes touching. Let's not look at our feet as we do this. Let's try to feel our way to an even stance and find our way to our center. Not too much on the toes, not too much on the heels. Just right. Spreading those toes wide. Use the whole of your foot. Draw your belly in, lengthen your spine even more. Press palm into palm. Take a breath in. And exhale, root down. Coming back to your intention for practice. Inhale, reaching both arms up. Grow a little bit taller, and on your exhale, forward fold. Going into our sun salutations. Inhale, halfway lift. Squeeze heels. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your feet back to a plank pose. Inhale, knees down. And just like I said before, let's bring those shoulders forward. Keep the shoulders forward. Bend in your elbows. Chaturanga, hold. And lower all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra. Keep the feet on the mat. Exhale, press up and back. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. And out. Let's keep it moving today. Inhale, look forward. Step the feet to the top of your mat. Feet together. Big toes touch. Just going to grab a hair clip. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the hands all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, straight into it. Forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Squeeze heels. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your feet back to plank. Let's bring those shoulders forward. Drop the knees down. Lower into your chaturanga. Hold 3. And let's tuck the chin slightly. Lengthen the back of your head. 2. And 1. Lower all the way down. Inhale, coming up. Maybe this time into a high cobra. So the difference being down here, I'm using more back strength. Here, I can lock out my arms and really get a bigger stretch in my chest and front body. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out. Let's keep going. Step forward, maybe just 2 clean steps. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, swoop the arms up. Exhale, dive forwards, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant hands, step back to plank. Take those shoulders forward. So do you see how here I shift my heels back? And then I want to propel myself forward onto my tippy toes. Press the hands into the mat with or without knees, lower chaturanga. Inhale, maybe up dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Full breath in and out. Inhale, lift your right leg up high. Bend the knee, open the hip, and start to draw some nice big circles with that right knee. And reverse direction. So I love taking these. I really find that I am someone who wakes up in the morning and the first thing I need to do in the day is wiggle out those hips. I get lots of cricks and cracks. Let's take a 3-legged dog here, and we're going to square our dog. So I want you to press into your left big toe, left heel, and take all 5 toes on your right foot and point them towards the mat. So stick your right heel up to the sky. Straighten out those arms even more. Push into the floor. Push into your left heel. Keep the height of the right heel. Holding 3, 2, and 1. Point the right toes. Bring the right knee forwards towards your right elbow. And lower your left knee down. Step the right foot in front of you. Inhale, rise up, 90-90 position. Pull the feet together. Trying to find a stretch in our left hip flexor. You can opt to add a side bend, leaning over towards the right. Now, you can have both hands up. You can reach the right hand for the floor. Or, what I like is taking the right hand through, pressing on the inside of your right leg to help assist with getting a deeper side bend. Make sure as you're doing this, you've got your glutes tucked under slightly. And you're squeezing that left glute, pressing your left hip forwards. Let's take one more breath here. And back to center. Let's get into our upper back and chest a little bit. So, on our inhales, we sink into that forward right knee. Bring the elbows back together. Expose your heart and your throat to the sky. And exhale, fold into a half split. Maybe keep those hands off the ground for a balance challenge. If you need, you always take the floor or your blocks. Let's find a flow between the two of those. So inhale, coming up, heart opens. Exhale, half Hanumasana. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, fold. Now remember, you can add any flow variations. Let's try a few small things. Keep your foot on the ground the whole time, so let's not flex the right foot and half split. See how that changes it. Maybe take your fingers into a different shape, taking a mudra with your hand. Let's take one more. Finishing in our half split, lift the right foot so your foot is flexed. Hands down to the floor, and I want us to draw a circle, pointing and flexing with the right toes. So come to flex. Let's go through it slowly. Take the right big toe towards the mat, and then point the toes to the front so that all 5 toes are on the mat. Then take the pinky toe over to the edge of your mat and back up. So you're drawing a circle with your foot. And now we start to bring the upper body into it, and you start to wiggle your hips into it. Reverse. See how I'm twisting my hips as I do this. And back to center. Come forwards into a low lunge. Hands are on the blocks or on the mat. Lift your left knee. and lower. Let's do this a few times. So you should be feeling this stretch in the front of your left hip. We're also igniting and lighting up the left glute and the back of the left leg as we do this. Now you can stay here if you want a little extra challenge. Let's lift those hands up, bring them into prayer at your center. Try to lift the left knee and lower. Let's go 3 more times. Going 3, 2, and 1. Hands down, step the right foot back. Let's take a vinyasa, meeting in our downward facing dog. Once you get to down dog, take a deep breath in. Exhale, ground down. Take 3 breaths here to really just return to your center. Check in with how everything is going for you in practice today. Have you found it easy to drop into what we're doing? Or is your mind torn or troubled with something else? And is it possible that you can kindly and gently just continue to bring yourself back to what we're doing here today every time you notice that you are distracted? And let's go to the other side when you're ready. Lifting up your left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, point the toes, start to draw some circles with that left knee. And let's reverse. And taking this to a 3-legged dog. Squaring the hips out. So point all left toes at the floor. Point your left heel to the sky, or flex your left heel to the sky. Drive through your right big toe and right heel, and push 2 strong arms into the mat. Try and lift your hips a little higher. Imagine someone is pulling your left foot back on a diagonal, up and back, up and back. And then bringing the knee forwards, lower your right knee down, and step your left foot forward. So if you're someone who struggles to step forward, lowering that other knee down can really help you as you transition to stepping forwards. When you're ready, coming up, find your 90-90. So remembering in our 90-90s, you've done this before, we want the pelvic tilt under so that we can get into our right hip flexor. That's the goal that I'm having right now for you. I want you to feel the right hip flexor. There's other ways of doing this with other intentions. I want to focus on right hip flexor. Hands up, taking a side bend over to the left. Immediately feeling that increase in the side body in the right hip flexor. If you liked it, adding in the variation, adding in that left hand pressing into your left knee. And continuing to think about being pulled up and over with those right fingertips. And release. From here, coming back to center, let's go into a flow. Inhale, sinking into our low lunge. Hands up and back, expose your throat, heart, and chest. Exhale, half splits. Now find your flow with this. And get creative. Maybe you think you're someone who's not an artist or not a mover, but you can do very little things to make it your own. Let's think about using the hands. We can flex and point with our wrists and fingers. You could imagine drawing lines in the air around you with your hands. You can work on pointing and flexing the left foot. Let's take one more. And holding back in your half splits, hands down. And we're going to take those circles with the left foot. So it's going to look a little like this in case you can't see my foot. Left toes to the ceiling. Let's take the left big toe down towards the floor. Point the toes forwards and then left pinky toe to the edge of your mat and flex the foot back up. So basically taking the foot in all directions. And then if you don't think about it too much, start to incorporate the rest of your body. So see how I'm sticking my hips out to the side as my foot rolls. There's no right or wrong. Let's reverse. And I want you to, again, focus on what you're feeling. My intention as I'm doing this is I'm really digging into the stretch I'm finding in my IT band, or the outside of my left leg. And coming back towards center. Bend into a low lunge. Let's lift the right knee up a few times. Now you can stay here with your hands on the mat, or if you'd like to join me, hands to chest, you could even rest them on your left knee. We're gonna lift the right knee a few times. So let's pay attention to the right glute. It's lighting up, it's firm, it's engaged. Going for 3, 2, 1, and release. Hands down, step back, take a vinyasa, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a moment here to reground and reroot. So we're going to continue with a little bit more asymmetrical work here, meaning working one side and then the other, leading up towards some asymmetric back bends. So let's start by lifting that right leg up high. Let's keep the foot square, the hips squared for a moment so you can feel the difference. And then I want you to open up the right hip. Bend your right knee. And point the right toes over towards the left edge of your mat, the left wall of the room, whatever you have. And play around with your hand weight distribution. So shift the weight between both hands and then take more on the left. See how that changes the stretch for you. And then start to peek under your right armpit. And then I want you to look behind and see if you can find your foot in the air, just in your peripheral vision. And start to really flex that right leg, trying to get the toes towards your head. Holding 3, 2, 1. Keep this flex. See if you can rotate facing forwards. Lean forwards into a plank shape. Keep reaching the right leg, right foot towards your head, and drop the left knee down. Let's take some tiger crunches. So try to get foot to head. Exhale, crunch, knee to elbow. Inhale, lifting up, foot to head. Exhale, crunch, knee to elbow. Let's go 3 more times. 2, 1, hold. And press back up, 3-legged dog. Keep it if you can. And extend. Coming back to our downward facing dog option here, take a vinyasa or take a breath in child's pose. And let's just notice the difference between our left and right sides after that. Taking 3 breaths. Really take this scan. Notice what's been worked, what's been stretched, what felt good. Just cataloging that information in your mind, adding it to the database of movement in the body, becoming more familiar every time we move with our body and our physical connection. Let's meet in downward facing dog and try the other side. So bring that left leg up, square the hips for first, just to really see the difference in my height or your height. So from here, I can only get so far. Then when I open up the hip, my leg goes much higher. I'm peeking underneath of my left arm, pointing the left toes towards the right wall. Dig your right foot into the mat. Let's not forget about our right leg. We're trying to find a stretch in the back of your right leg while you also point the left toes and reach them over to the side wall. From here, let's take our gaze up towards the sky. See if you can see your left foot in your peripheral vision. Continue to point the toes, stretching them towards your head. Remember, you've got two strong arms here pushing into the floor to help you. And let's keep this as we rotate, coming back to face the front and gently lower your right knee down. Tiger crunches, left foot up towards your head. And crunch left knee to left elbow. Inhale, lifting up towards your head. Exhale, crunch. So as you're doing these, it's really easy to lose awareness of our leg and the shape it has. And you might have your leg out long and think it's bent. So really challenge yourself to keep that left knee bent. Let's do one more. Holding this time, coming up. Hold here. Reach further. Tuck your right toes if they're not already. Prepare to lift up and back. And downward facing dog. Float forward to take your vinyasa. And press back, child's pose. Take a breather. Was that side easier for you? A little harder? I love doing asymmetric back bends because I have a significantly stronger, more open side. And my challenge is noticing what I'm good at on my weaker side and seeing if I can also complement my weaknesses, bringing in more strength and control and awareness. Take one more breath here. And release. Coming up into your downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, let's bring that right leg up high. And walk your hands back, finding a standing split. So in your standing split, let's really push the left big toe into the floor and keep more weight in your left ball of your foot rather than the heel of your foot, okay? So really try to push almost like you're going into releve. Maybe even lift your left heel just a couple of inches. And then continue to lift your right leg high. Taking your weight into your left hand, float your right hand up towards the sky. Now you can stay here. Next option would be bend your right foot. Find the right hand and right foot connection, kicking with your right leg as high as you can and let that kick open up your chest slightly. Now you can stay here or start to flatten your left hand, and just like we did on the mat, I want you to try and lift your gaze up towards the sky, challenging your balance, and see if you can find your right foot in your gaze. Now imagine trying to pull that right foot towards your head. Kicking, opening, constantly reminding yourself, kick, stretch, kick to stretch. And keep that foot if you have it. And let's turn this into a forward fold, bowing towards our left shin or left foot. You do not need to have the foot here. If you can't reach, you can simply take this into a standing split. Okay, from here, walking forwards towards your downward facing dog, step your right foot through. Remember, if you're struggling to step through, lower that left knee down first. Step the right foot through. Inhale, rising up, warrior one. Okay. From here, make sure you have a strap or something handy nearby. So I've got a strap today. You can also use a rolled up towel if you don't have one. And we're going to step forwards to the top of our mat. Come to Tadasana. We're practicing dancer's pose. I want to make sure I'm kind of in the camera here. So we're going to start with the right leg. Step your right foot onto the strap, cross the strap over, step your left foot through, and we're going to kick up the right leg. Now with the strap, we can work, first of all, our shoulders, if that's what you want to work on, flipping your grip. Or if you're feeling comfortable with that, keep the arms up, walk the hands back. And I'm not relying on just walking my hands, I'm also kicking my right leg. From here, kick, 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 kick. Maybe start to lean forwards with your heart. Plant through that left big toe. Remember what I said, almost like you're going into releve. More weight into the toes. Kick, kick, kick. Holding 3, 2, 1. Release. And coming back to stand. Take a moment, step it out. I always find that when I'm a little bit tired, my feet get kind of crampy. So step it out. We're going to do one more dancer's pose on the same side. So the difference with this one is we're going to do one-handed. So you might like this more, maybe not. You can use the strap if you want. I'm going to teach it without. So picking up your right foot, keep knee to knee. Take your right palm out, facing the sky. Point it out to the side and catch the inside of your right foot. So the inside. Reach your left hand up to the sky. And then I want you to focus on kicking your right foot. Kick, kick, kick. Kick some more. And then from here you can lean forward slightly, reaching your left fingertips to the top of your mat. So the balance on your left foot, remember you have 4 corners in your left foot, and at the same time, you're kicking that right foot higher to get a stretch in your right side body. Let that right shoulder be pulled open, holding here 3, 2, 1. We're going into a forward fold. Slowly, slowly. Can you bring that left hand down? Kick that right foot up. We're in the same position that we were in from standing splits. And release. Taking a forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back. Option for a vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Full breath in and out. Notice how that felt for you. Really tune into your back body. You should feel the right side is worked. It's strong, it's turned on. And we're now going to do the same on the left. So let's start by lifting that left leg up high. Walk your hands back, finding that standing split. And slight releve here. Try pressing into your right toes. Almost lift your right heel a couple of inches. Continue to squeeze your left glute as you lift the left leg higher. And bend your left knee, shifting the weight to your right fingertips. Reach your left hand up to the sky. Go ahead, grab hold of your left foot. So you could try either grip here. You could go inside like we're going to do later on with that dancers, or you could do outside. I want you to focus on kicking though. That's the most important part. You're not just pulling that foot, you're kicking it to get a nice big shape. From here, option to peek up towards the sky. See if you can see that left foot. This is going to help challenge your balance and give you a greater proprioception or awareness of your body in space. What's happening with the parts that you can't usually see. Kick, 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 kick. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. If you can keep the foot, turn this into a forward fold. Bowing towards your right knee. Release the left foot. Walk yourself out, finding a downward facing dog. Bring that left foot forwards. Rise up. Warrior 1. Find your strap. Step to the front of your mat. And let's set ourselves up for dancers on the other side. So left foot this time steps into the strap, cross the straps over, step your right foot through, and picking up your left foot. So it can be nice if you're someone who is tight in the shoulders. Try doing this a few times. Just bringing your hands out, elbows up, and back down. If you're feeling pretty good with that, let's meet all the way up and start to walk the hands back. So I'm not just relying on being dead weight with that left leg. This is me being dead weight. Kick the left foot. Let that kick pull open your chest and heart. And then maybe you lean forward a little bit more. Holding here. Keeping that right foot fluid, able to adapt to changes in weight shift. 3. Kick a little more, 2. And 1. Slowly coming out. Release the strap. Step it out a little bit. I really start to feel it in my feet, especially if you're not well hydrated. I tend to find I get more foot crampy. Okay, we're gonna do a one-arm dancers now. And this is really adapted from Bikram yoga. If you've ever been to Bikram yoga, that's where I'm pulling this position from. So pick up your left foot, left hand to the sky, point it out to the side, find the inside of your left foot. Reach your right hand up, and let's just think for a moment here. Both shoulders face forward. Let's start that way. From here, keep that right hand up, and imagine you're pressing into a wall. I want you to kick the left foot first. Push into that wall, imaginary wall to help you. You could even have a real wall if you need. From here, you can lean forwards then, reach that right fingertips to the top of your mat, kick, 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 kick with your left foot. You should feel a nice pulling in your left pec as that arm is being stretched by the kick of your left foot. Hold 3, 2, 1. Slowly, slowly, we come down to the floor. So once you find that position, go ahead, keep the kick. Maybe try and gaze again up towards the foot. And then release. Uttanasana, forward fold. Okay, maybe you take a vinyasa, or maybe you come to meet me in downward facing dog. Whatever it is that's calling for you today. We're gonna do one more back bend. So we'll start by getting into a pigeon. Bring your left leg forwards first. I said left. It's definitely not what you're expecting, but since we started with dancers on the right leg first, we're gonna do king pigeon on the right leg first as well. So I like to start with first just stretching out that left glute. It's tight, we've been working it. So sitting up nice and tall, maybe your hands are on blocks. And I want you to try and press your right hip down. Maybe lift your right knee off the floor, just like we did in that beginning exercise. And lower. Lift the right knee and lower. So you're pressing on the top of that right foot. Maybe you flex the right foot under and increase the stretch as you lift the right knee up and lower. And we'll bow down, taking a pigeon. Closing your eyes down, just take a few breaths to enjoy. And just start to wiggle side to side. Using your breath, your exhales to really let go of any tension. Relax your jaw. Now you can choose to stay here, or we're going to work towards King Pigeon. If you're coming with me to King Pigeon, coming up onto your hands. Let's give our back a little bit of a strength test to make sure it's turned on. I want you to reach the hands up and take the fists back or hands back. Reaching up, just like we did with our half split flow, bowing forwards. 3 more, reaching up and bowing forwards. 1 more, reaching up and bowing forwards. Bringing your hands down, give yourself a little wiggle. Some of you might need to put a cushion or a pillow or block underneath that left hip to stop yourself from completely sitting down on that side and then lifting up your right hip. We really want to continue to get that right hip towards the ground here. From here, picking up your right foot, grabbing that right foot with your right hand, or you can lasso it with a strap. So this would be step 1, and personally I like to spend a little bit of time here. Just practice kicking that right foot back, and then practice bringing it in, kicking back, and bringing it in. Now what you can start to do as you're doing this is change the grip on your foot. So if your fingers are pointing down the foot, maybe as you bring it forward, I'm going to adjust myself so that you can see. So see the way I've got my foot now, my fingers are pointing down on the top of the foot. So I kick out, and then as I come forwards, I rotate, spinning my fingers to point towards my armpit and press down on the foot. Reach back. Just adjusting myself here. And then spin the fingers forwards as you press on that foot. Maybe linger here a little bit. And the idea is we really want to work on twisting our shoulders to face the front of the mat. So they might be a bit open to begin with. Slowly getting the shoulders and hips to square forwards. Now you can stay here, or you slide that right foot to the crook of your right elbow. From here you can start to lift the left hand up, and maybe the fingers will come to bind. Now just like I did before, my shoulders are out to the side, so I need to work on boom, click, taking the shoulders and hips forward. And just try to find breath. If you're not breathing, you've gone too far, okay? Now those of you who are working towards King Pigeon, there's many ways of getting into it. One way I like is reaching that left hand back, finding my right toes, sliding my right hand through, and then taking the right hand to meet the left. You could also practice holding with 1 arm, with 2. And let's release. Let's come onto our seat, meeting in a seated crow position, I'd say. I want your feet hips distance apart, knees towards your armpits, and just taking a moment to stretch out the back body. Really press those knees into your elbows. And we're going to go to the other side. From here, just windshield wiper your legs, your knees side to side. See how that feels. And then we'll set ourselves up. Right foot forwards, left leg back, coming into our pigeon on the right side. So, let go of your hips, set yourself up. And then let's try lifting that left knee off the floor a few times. So you can have the top of the left foot flat, or tuck your left toes under, and then try lifting the left knee from here. Really wiggling around, getting into any sticky areas. And when you're ready, just come down into your sleeping pigeon, closing the eyes. Taking a moment here to really surrender to the stretch, to enjoy it. Wiggling side to side. And you can always stay here and continue to work on your pigeon pose if you On something more restorative, if you'd like to try one more back bend, let's work towards our king pigeon. So taking ourselves up, starting with some back strengthening, reaching your hands up. This side's a little trickier for me. And forwards. So as I'm doing these, I'm also pressing my right foot into the floor. So that foot is sort of flexed or flointed, and I'm really pressing it in as I lift up and fold. One more. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fold forwards. Okay, from here, let's start to bring in the left foot. So, just have to adjust a little bit. This is my dodgy side. I always go a lot more carefully and mindfully on this side. So especially if you're someone with any knee injuries or hip injuries. So go ahead, grab that left foot. And let's just start by kicking and then bringing that left foot in. And something that might help you as well here, I don't have any blocks, but if you can put a hand on a block here, you'll be able to get a little bit more height. Let's try to bring in those fingers now. So as I bring the left foot in, I try and point the fingertips towards my armpit and release. Just try that a few times. And as you bring those fingertips forward, this time stay. Press that left hip bone down. Press it down. Feel that changes the stretch. And from here, you might think about, instead of shoulders facing the side of your mat, let's try and bring them forwards. Maybe you slide the left foot to the crook of that left elbow. Hold here if this is where you're at. I might stay here today as well, but otherwise you can take your right hand up. Maybe you go for the bind. This feels pretty good. And if you would like to, you want to start working towards your king pigeon. Those right fingertips can find the left toes or any other way in which you want to get there. I'll cover that in more detail in another class. But my favorite way is definitely reaching opposite hand to foot. It's harder to keep my balance on this side. And then sliding the other hand through. So this is definitely a newer position for my body, and it's not something I've been practicing much the last few weeks, so I'm definitely feeling a bit stiff. When you're ready, you can release. And let's bring those feet forwards. Take a moment here to just wrap yourself, cocoon yourself into a little ball. Sit back, lean back. And puffing up the back here, taking a nice stretch. And release. Hands down, just windshield wiper those legs. See how it feels this time. All right, let's find Baddha Konasana. Feet together, taking a nice forward fold, symmetrical forward fold to really stretch out the back. So hands towards your feet, open your feet like a storybook, pull your heart forwards. Drive the elbows onto your upper thigh bones as you fold into your Konasana. Adjusting your feet as you need. Continue to press the elbows onto your thighs so that you're really helping to assist the knees closer to the floor. At the same time, trying to keep length in our spine by drawing that belly in and up and pulling our heart towards our feet rather than just our head. Think about that heart coming closer to the feet. Breathing here, close the eyes down. Let's take one more breath here. And then we'll start to take it into a yin approach by simply allowing the body to hang, letting the head be heavy. without any effort here, just simply allowing gravity to pull you forwards. Noticing the subtle stretch on the outsides of your legs, your back. Relax that head even more. See if you can find a stretch in your neck and skull. And let's release, coming back up. Roll yourself all the way down onto the floor, bringing those knees into your chest. And we're gonna just rinse out the spine by taking a twist side to side. So for this twist, let's start by wrapping the right leg over the left. Put your left foot on the floor, lift your hips up and shift them over to the right side of your mat, and then guide your knees down towards the left, taking your arms out wide into the shape of a letter T, or cactusing your arms. And just closing your eyes down, taking a few breaths here. Just allow each exhale for your body to sink a little bit deeper into the twist. Perhaps as we drop more into some longer holds, you're noticing that something has shifted in your energy, in the connection you have with your body. Something's maybe shifted mentally for you. Let's take one more breath here. And slowly release, coming back towards center. Readjust your hips. Listen for the echo of that stretch. And let's go to the other side, crossing left foot over right. Shift the hips over to the left and guide the knees down to the right. Taking the arms out, letting your head fall into a position of comfort. Nice deep breaths. Choosing to remain present without getting sucked into whatever is next in your day, whatever is trying to poke its way through this nice bubble of calm going on in our head. Put it aside for later. Let's choose to be here and present for the last little bit of practice. Breathing in, breathing out. Taking one more breath on this side. And coming back towards center. Adjust your hips, take the legs out. And let's take the hands behind our head, lifting your head up, making sure your hair is not going to be in the way, any ponytails or clips. And gently laying your head down on the mat. Bringing your hands out towards your sides, Shavasana pose. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. 2 more times, breathing in. Biggest exhale yet. Sealing your lips and allowing breath to flow through your nose. Let the body breathe for you. completely surrender your physical body, letting go of any strain, any judgment, simply allowing this vessel to rest in stillness, giving it time to absorb the benefits of the stretches and work we engaged in. Drawing your attention to your face, softening any wrinkles in your brow bone, softening your temples, your eyes, your nose. Allow the cheeks to be soft, heavy, jaw relaxed, chin relaxed, lips relaxed. Drawing your attention to your third eye or the space between your eyebrows. As you inhale, clearing the doorway. Exhale, diving into your deeper connection with your internal world. Noticing the quality of the mind in this moment. Without judgment. And then let's drop from our mind, bringing our attention down into our body and into our heart space. Noticing the quality of our heart in this moment. Noticing any emotions that might be present without attaching to a story or trying to reason them. Give yourself permission to feel whatever is present, reminding yourself that feelings are temporary and it is not your identity of who you are. Who you are is a constant, unchanging, subtle force deep within you. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Let it be that simple. Knowing that all you need to do in this moment is breathe in and breathe out. You are already there. Whatever it is you're straining or striving to reach for in life, you already have everything you need. sounds, smells. Feel every point of contact you have with the earth. Take one last breath in stillness. And slowly start to bring movement to your feet, your hands. Deepen your breath as you stretch the body out long. And then bringing the knees into your chest. Make your way up to a seated position. Taking a moment to sit up nice and tall. Finishing our practice with intention. Roll the shoulders down. Deep breath in. Exhale. Bringing your hands into prayer, press palm into palm. Knuckles to your third eye center. Taking a small bow here, thank your body for everything it does for you. And making a silent commitment to look after yourself. Namaste. And thank you for your support and taking this class. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions about the poses, or if you're struggling with something, reach out to me, let me know, send me a message or leave me a comment. And if there's something you want to work on, just again reach out, let me know what that might be. I will try to continue to film weekly. I am right now busy looking for studios that I can teach at and applying for some jobs, so I have quite a lot of transition going on in my life, but one thing that is quite nice is being able to have a space where I can still offer and teach to those who might want to learn from me. So I appreciate if you do like taking my classes. It's nice to be able to still have a space where I can offer right now.